Good evening, welcome along to the Modus Super Series from the live lounge here in Portsmouth. Friday night, the final night in terms of qualification through to the first finals night of the brand new series. And going into this evening, it's Darius Labanauskas that leads the way, having won all 4 of his games on day 1. He is hoping to make it through to a second consecutive finals night and a second consecutive Champions Week that he's played in. Alongside me this evening to watch all of the action, it is Scott Mitchell. An interesting evening, a uniform Group B table and some names that have been successful here in the past on a little bit of the back foot.
Yeah, unusually, it's not often we see Steve West sort of coming here struggling to win games, and that seemed to be the case last night. He seemed to be a little bit rattled about something last night, but he's got some work to do tonight if he's going to make that top 3, and of course we've got a top 2 that seem to be playing superbly.
Yeah, we'll talk a bit more about that in just a second, but this afternoon Group C came to an end and it saw Neil Duff win the group, and it was Bradley Brooks that went through with him. Brooks won 5 from 5 on Thursday, was unable to do so on Friday, and Duff, with that 4-3 winning against Alex Small, who'd previously been unbeaten up until that point, was enough to send Brooks through and Small out. We'll talk about Alec first because he played so well today but just didn't get his end reward.
No, he didn't. And I mean, he'll go back and he'll be looking for places in that group, yesterday and today where he could have picked things up. But over that many games, you're being really harsh. Today, he came here to do a job, and he was just one leg away from doing that 5 out of 5 and making sure he made it. And he would have topped the group as well. So you've got to feel for him, but he'll learn from that. He's still a young lad, and he'll come back with a bit more fight in his belly.
What about Neil Duff? We spoke to him at the end of that session. It looked like a phone call back to home made all the difference because he looked a different man today.
Yeah, he did. He looked a lot more focused. He looked very, very much more like he was concentrating on the job that he had in hand. And you can only take it one game at a time here. But we mentioned in the interview that he needed to win those first 2 games. And that's exactly what he did and got himself some momentum. And then when it came to that big game at the end, he'd already won 4. And Alec had won 4 and something had to give. And unfortunately for Duff, he goes and wins it and then tops the group.
And as you can see in the tournament bracket, Bradley Brooks, the other man to make it through, but by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, needed some help along the way. It's very difficult when you go 5 out of 5 on the first day because the other guys in the group feel that they're not going to let you beat them twice in a row. And that's exactly how dart players think. So it's no different here. And, he had a bit of that. But he got 2 wins, but it nearly wasn't enough.
Well, on to tonight's action in Group B, where it's Darius Labanauskas that leads the way, winning all 4 matches on Thursday evening. And it was reliability that was his key strength. That's always his key strength.
Yeah, it's been his key strength forever and a day. I've known him since the WDF BDO days. And he's always had that game, that set game that he puts out there. And that's what he does. You've got to go above it if you're going to get him. And he very rarely goes under it and struggles to find it. He throws each dart as an individual dart as well. And that makes him very difficult to beat because he doesn't throw too many darts away. But yeah, yesterday he'd have been pleased with his 4 out of 4.
And Gemma Hayter will be very pleased with her debut performance. 3 wins out of those 4 matches, the only defeat being to Darius. And at times she looked in fantastic form, actually hit more 180s than anybody else.
Yeah, look, she's had a time out of the sport, and she came back in January. I actually had a word with her about it earlier, and maybe it was the Luke Littler effect, made her pick the darts up again after the Worlds, and she started throwing pretty well and sort of fancied having a go again, and got the support and goes to her first women's series and makes a semi-final. And then, here she is in the Super Series towards the end of the year and playing superbly. So, yeah, good for her.
Let's have a look at the table, then going into the second night's worth of action. Richard Rowlands also on 4 points, but Steve West in a bit of bother there on 2. What do you think he's got to do tonight to gate crash the top 3?
Well, he's got to be feeling that he's got to go through the car tonight. He's got to go 4 out of 4. The thing with Group B is that the games catch up on you, and if you lose one, then you start to run out of time, particularly if you've only got 2 points on the board. So he's got his work cut out tonight. Can he do it? Yeah, of course he can. He's Steve West.
Let's have a look at the odds and see what the bookies think about tonight's proceedings. Darius Labanauskas goes off a heavy 2-7 favourite with the odds comprised. Any surprises in there?
No, not for me. I think they're seeing that, Westy at 33-1. Seems quite a long shot, but they're going off of what he was averaging last night, and you can only go off the present. And we know he wasn't quite himself last night, so maybe that's the value there. Could he sneak into third place? But he's not going to win the group from there, I doubt, but he can make the top 3.
It's 18 plus. It's begavidaware.org if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series this evening. Right, let's get into the first match of the evening session, and it sees Gemma Hayter in action up against Steve West. It was a match that Hayter won by 4-0 late last night, and early on this evening, Scotty Dog caught up with his former England teammate.
So, Gemma, last night, it was your debut. How did you feel?
I felt really relaxed. I felt really good. I didn't really know what to expect. It's kind of the fear of the unknown. But luckily it all went my way.
We've been on England stages together. How does that one feel?
That was really good. It was a while ago I played for England, maybe 8-9 years ago. So that rush was something special.
You're making me feel old now. Look, you look great to me when I was watching last night. You look very comfortable. The stage is a stage, I think, that's designed for players to play well. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, definitely. The throw is lovely up there, and I've heard multiple people say that, but it really is, and it's just such a good environment.
So, any targets for tonight?
No, game by game again. I don't want to get caught up in the race for qualification. I don't want to lean into that. I just want to focus on winning, basically.
And where have you been? You've been away for a bit, and now you've come back, and you've burst onto the scene in a big way, and it must feel good.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. I've just been concentrating on home life, family, getting a house, which is a struggle nowadays. So yeah, just been doing that, and then just decided to come back.
Well, it seems to be working. We're enjoying having you back. I am in particular, because we're old mates, and good luck this evening.
Thank you very much.
An old friends reunion there as Gemma Hayter had a chat with Scott Mitchell earlier on this evening, and she takes on Steve West in the opening match of the evening session here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Game 1 of 10 that we're going to be broadcasting live to you on the Super Series YouTube channel. And as far as this game went last night, it was a 4-0 defeat for Steve West, but he kick-started his night with a 4-0 win against Kieran. It was the only victory he did pick up on the opening night's playback, surprisingly. Well, the man from Waltham Abbey up against Gemma Hayter, who has won 2 Women's Series titles in 2024 since her return to the sport. The 31-year-old from Gosport, just over the Solent from the Live Lounge here in Portsmouth. And 6 points to her name, and if she makes it through, it will be jam-packed inside the Live Lounge tomorrow evening for what will be a big moment in her career. Owen Binks, the referee for all of tonight's action. And he calls to the board Steve West to throw the first dart of the evening. Scott Mitchell is alongside me in the commentary box for all of the action. And this could be an interesting group just based on how the land lies after night 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And Steve West knows that he's got to get going here this evening, early doors. And
100.
Taking on Gemma. She's like I say, taken to this Live Lounge like a duck to water last night. And I do like the way you mentioned her age there. I have a funny feeling when I tell her that you'll be a 22-year-old with a black eye. Just never mention a woman's age, mate.
I was just doing what I'm told to do, and that's mention the stats on the screen.
Yeah, but you say like double 15 plus 1 or something, don't you? You just do it nicely.
Turning into Owen Binks you are with sayings like that.
57.
In terms of this opening leg, West first to have finished, leaving 164 after 9 darts. Gemma not getting out the gate quickly, although it did take her a couple of legs to get going in her first game last night against Kieran. Had to rely on 6 misses at the outer ring from the Irishman. West 6 on 164.
78.
And he's going to leave himself on 86 upon his return.
Yeah, you can see what Westy was trying to do there, trying to sort of set himself up. He hasn't left too bad a shot, even though
Steve
a couple of darts didn't find the destination he wanted to go. So it'll be treble 18 here. Double 16.
Game shot in the first leg.
A very nice kill there. 14 dart leg to kick off proceedings this evening.
Second against Gemma to throw first.
And
Game on.
that's more like Steve West we know of late.
Steve West, who has won 5 weekly titles. Nobody's won more in a
100.
qualification sense. Him and Neil Duff could end that conversation as to what means what tomorrow evening. I did have a chat with Steve earlier on tonight, and he did say to me,
46.
stop stirring the pot in terms of that particular debate.
Oh, they've got your number, Henry. They know what you're about.
38.
Winding it all up before Saturday night. Love it. You don't need to, honestly. We're all like a cat on a hot tin roof up there on a Saturday.
76.
There's near attention in that room. And you look in there when they've got the 6 of you in there going, so which one of us is going home with it tonight?
100.
With no fear of the 6, Carl Wilson headed back home to Kent and has been watching the action on YouTube over the last few days. Probably watching tonight as well. If you are, welcome along, Carl.
59.
Bradley Brooks and Neil Duff through to the finale. And Bradley actually celebrating his win by having probably the most northern dish you could ever imagine. Chips with gravy and
40.
cheesy chips with gravy, more to the point.
Northern lads love gravy.
Steve West into the gravy, into the treble bed,
180.
and that's the first 180 of the night. And perhaps intriguingly, Steve West yesterday was the only player not to hit a max. When you consider he's such a
121.
perennial
Steve
scorer,
McCoy,
that did come as
140.
somewhat of a surprise.
Yeah, good reply there from Gemma Hayter.
40. Gemma require 102.
So he's got the 40 off and left a nice round ton for a nice little 2-dart shot.
46. Steve, you require 100.
So West has left a ton to get the break at a 2-0 lead. Tops. In it
Game shot on the
goes.
second
And
leg.
just like last night, Steve West
West.
kicking off well. 2-0 to the good against Gemma Hayter, looking to reverse the
So now gets
scoreline
Steve to
from
throw
last night's
first.
meeting.
Game on.
Seeing a very different focused Steve West this evening. There's no two ways about that.
It's a little bit like Neil Duff earlier on, where when there is
121.
that carrot of Saturday night, when it feels like a business day, you just see the sharper end players just turn it on a little bit.
180.
Nice 180 there from Gemma.
$93.
Played a county darts for Hampshire for a while before she had a break. She used to play Hampshire
140.
Youth as well, and my daughter was playing at Dorset, and I think Gemma smashed her up a few times, if I'm totally honest, at those youth games. She's always had a good
57.
game in her, Gemma, and she really is enjoying herself in the last few months since returning. I suppose the big announcement for her was the
100.
returning and making that semi-final on the ladies' tour in March, and so it's been a good 6
32.
months for her.
Jimmy
Things
require
are
81.
happening rapidly. So not a bad miss there. 20 for tops.
41.
I've not seen the old flight deflectors in the top of a flight for a fair while, and Gemma uses those.
140. Jimmy require 40.
In off the barrel.
20.
Oh, just a bit under.
Steve, you require 58.
And so West back for 58 for a 3-0 lead. Hayter missing 4 darts at a double in this leg. Tops. Great guide. Uses
Game
it
shot on the
perfectly. A
third
flick
leg.
off the
Steve
barrel and in.
West.
And West leads by 3 legs to 0. A perfect start so far to this Friday night.
Gemma to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, I was just saying Van Zanten as well this afternoon. He used those little flight deflectors in the top of his darts. I haven't seen any for a long, long
140.
time, and now 2 sets in 2 sessions.
It's like anything with fashion, isn't it, Scott? They go in and they go out oh so often.
20.
I was actually having a couple of conversations on social media this evening regarding some dodgy garments.
123.
I think in the rules of the dart makeup, I think the dart is only allowed to be made of 5 pieces. So you've got the point, the barrel, the stem, the flight, and one other piece, and it can be a sort of a, like you say, a flight protector on the top, or a ring, but you shouldn't have both.
60.
Back in the day, you used to have people come and tell you off because you had 6 parts to the dart. If you had a ring to hold the flight and a dart deflector on the top.
I genuinely
60.
did not know that.
Stick with me, kid. I'll learn you.
Hayter here looking to set up to get her first leg on the board this
80.
evening, but that an untimely deflection means that she finds herself on 90. Even if it was just a single 20, 78 means a couple of singles would give her a dart at a double.
95. Gemma require 98.
218 would have given her a dart at double 12, but she has got time on her
58.
side. She will set up for tops to get her first leg on the board.
$61. Gemma require 40.
Double 10.
20. Steve
She's had a couple of chances.
36.
It's now for Westy looking to mop up.
96. Gemma require 20.
And so this time, this is under tangible
Games
pressure.
on the fourth
And this
leg.
time, Hayter
Gemma
gets.
Hayter.
She stays in the contest at 3-1, forcing Steve West to serve it out.
Fifth leg, it's Steve to throw first. Game on.
Something you do think about as a player up there sometimes, the leg difference. The way that this works. You know, we've seen some very
41.
kind of cutthroat groups that have gone down to leg difference. Sometimes it can be just on the odd leg.
60.
Well, look at the Jimmy Van Schie story. Admittedly, it was a finals night, but found himself 3-0 down to Darryl Pilgrim, ran into a couple of legs. Yes, he lost that match, but it was enough to see him in a 9-dart shootout. One said 9-dart shootout, and then
100.
won the night. The Champions Week runner-up from the previous series, losing out to Marvin van Velzen in the final.
100.
And when you look at Steve's sticky position when it comes to the legs difference, every leg is of the utmost importance. If he wins this 4 and move on to -1,
81.
Rowlands is on +2. It would move Hayter back down to +2 in terms of legs difference. It would just creep him ever so closer to those in and around him in the table in that particular
100.
category, as well as the points.
$133.
So West leaving himself on 146 to take out this opening match of the night.
40. Steve, you've required 146.
Hayter may have to just put this one down to experience and move on.
86. $59. Steve, you require 60.
Tops for double 10 for the match. Well, that was
50.
way inside,
Gemma,
especially
you
when you consider
require
the marker that Dart 2
142.
would have provided for him.
Not to be this time for Gemma.
43. Steve, you require 10.
And so for the match, double 5 for Steve West.
Game shot
And
the
once again,
match.
Steve West
Steve
kicks off the night with a real good start, a real good win. He gets the better of Gemma Hayter by 4 legs to 1. Average just under 86 in the end. The doubling quite good as well. 4 from 7. As for Gemma Hayter, well, defeat to kickstart her campaign on this Friday evening. West now to within a couple of points. Next up for us it is Darius Labanauskas in action. He can move on to 10 points and leave Kieran Teehan, well, in a creek without a paddle, and that game comes up next.
So welcome back to the Modus Super Series here at the Lies Lounge in Portsmouth. We have got Group B underway, and just before the break, Steve West had a 4-1 win over Gemma Hayter, and a reversal for him from the last game yesterday. We move on to game 2 now here. We have Kieran Teehan from Cork, a PDC Challenge Tour winner in the past, taking on Darius Labanauskas, PDC World Championship quarter-finalist in 2020, among many other accolades and titles that Darius has obtained. And last night he managed to win this one 4-3 with the dart, so it was a close old game.
First leg, it's Kieran.
Teehan will be looking to take advantage this evening of having the darts, and maybe getting his own back on a young fella from Lithuania.
96.
Well, Darius's efficiency just lends him to this format, which is why it's no surprise that when he played in his first week, he won his week. Okay, you had to do it through Group C, but it seems that most players these days do it through Group C, which is probably not something that players will want to hear me say during a Group B session.
180.
As Teehan gets his first max of the night. As far as yesterday's concerned for him, he averaged 85.27 for the evening. 30% on the doubles. He only had 23 attempts at the outer ring. Took 7 of those attempts. And if you actually look at the games that he played, if you take out the match against Steve West, where 65. He wasn't really at the races, lost this game 4-3 to Labanauskas yesterday, who averaged over a ton. Teehan averaged 92. He lost 4-3 to Rowlands, despite having an average 9 points better than his opponent. And then averaged 82 against Gemma Hayter in a 4-1 defeat. And that was after a raft of
82.
missed doubles in the opening leg.
Kieran, 106.
So it wasn't as if Kieran Teehan played awfully. It was just at the key moments he just wasn't able to find the right things. But he does have 6 darts at 160 to take out this opening leg. And he's going to leave himself on a single to double combo upon his return.
Darius won't be too concerned here. Like you say, it's
100.
not his first
Kieran
rodeo.
require 60.
You will know this is just the first leg, early doors, and double 10 coming in.
40. Darius, you require 124.
And his plan this evening, Teehan's, would have been to try and get more darts at a double. Well, you spoke about his double fetching last night. It's bullseye then for Labanauskas.
83.
Lined it up, a big
Kieran,
putt for the
require
cheeks. He was
20.
not too happy about that, but Teehan gets back at double 10.
Game shot on the first
Gets
leg.
it.
Kieran
Double
Teehan.
5 has been a big favourite today, and it started again this evening.
Second leg, it's Darius.
Well, it says one thing, doesn't it?
Game
That
on.
darts and moments are getting very, very nervy. And so lots of attempts at a double are going on the inside of the double 10, which is why double 5 is becoming a popular
41.
play, or an unpopular play to a certain extent. But Teehan getting an opportunity there, which he probably didn't get yesterday.
I mean, effectively, it's the same dart as the double top, but the fear is
45.
going inside and having to waste another dart to be able to leave yourself a double. And that can be said for a few doubles that people are comfortable on, but if they don't break down, it makes them a difficult double and gives you a fear
100.
of being inside. And 9 times out of 10, if you tell yourself in your head, don't go inside, you will go inside.
Well, the thing is, there's only 2 occasions that you ever want to leave double 5, and that's if
95.
you've hit 2 treble 20s off the back of the 130, or you've got 70 left and you've hit the treble 20 on that particular occasion. But other than that, you've left yourself on double 5 because something else has gone wrong along the way. Nothing wrong with that.
180.
Floated, the little man floated the last dart over the top, didn't he there? Maybe that's why he's called Lucky D.
58.
But that wasn't a lucky dart. It was a well-judged dart.
There's an army that a player as good as Darius has a nickname called Lucky, because there's no luck about how good this man is. He's going to leave himself, or at least he should leave himself, providing everything stays straight and well. Tops after 12 darts to
140.
level this game up at 1 apiece. He averaged in excess of a ton in this fixture last night, and he's averaging 102 here in the early strands.
95. Darius, you require 40.
Double 10 then. Nicely
Game shot on
done
the second leg.
from
Darius
Darius.
Labanauskas.
Second dart nicely, and we talk about sort
like
of
it's
travel
Kieran
and
to throw
being part
first.
of these tours,
Game.
varying things. Somebody like Darius, it is just constant travel. It's constantly travelling from home by plane to
60.
get here, and people say, "Oh, you know, but I live in the north of the country and I can't get down here," and blah blah. These guys, the Dariuses of this world, the Modus Rasmahas of this world, they have a fair old trip on a plane. Sometimes even to get to the
100.
plane in their own countries before they even get anywhere near a venue in Europe to throw a dart. They're not big nations darting wise.
140.
Some of these guys come from, and the effort that it takes for them to be here is really second to none.
To be a professional sports person in any sense, you have to have a sense of sacrifice. But particularly for the likes of people like Darius, you just have to sacrifice
122.
that little bit more. And particularly when you go to England. Now, Darius does speak English. It's a little bit broken at times. So there's another barrier that he has to overcome. So everything for him,
66.
every single success is, first of all, overcoming adversity, and then he has to just try that little bit harder than most. And one thing you can't deny about Darius is he definitely puts the hours and the effort in.
59.
Yeah, absolutely. And to think that he's been playing darts as probably a full-time job for as many years as he has now goes to show there is kind of a
27.
wage in it for him. And he's rather fortunate to now, you know, he's got to a point in the game where the sponsors are on the shirt. You know, he has a backing now, which
140.
has to suit you as a player. You know, some players, you know, have management companies. Some players manage themselves. You've got to do it the way that it suits you, because
60.
that's the way you go up there and play your best.
There's no
80.
one-size-fits-all approach towards success in this game. Apart from this bit where you've got to hit the double. And this will be for 14 data. 14 data found. Labanauskas leads by 2 legs to 1. The 2 legs that he's won have been in the space of 29 darts. 15 followed by 14. And Laban has got this game where he wants it. And Kieran Teehan, following a positive start, is getting the same feeling that he felt last night. Did get off to a slow start in his match against Steve West, where he averaged below 80, and he's averaging below 80 in his first game of this evening's action.
100.
This is Kieran's 8th appearance here at the Super Series. He's played in all but one of the series. He's qualified for finals night twice, and every single time he has done, he's gone on to win the evening, whereas Darius is looking to preserve a
100.
perfect record of making it through the finals nights. 1 appearance here previously, 1 finals night, 1 weekly win.
45.
Got to the semi-finals of that particular Champions Week before he lost out to the fashionista, that is Cameron Crabtree.
$54.
You say he's doing exactly what it says on the tin with Darius. We spoke about it at the top of the show and
97.
how consistent he is. I'm going to put that game up there, my friend, and if you want to come and get me, you are going to have to come and get me.
Well, Darius plays this level where you know
61.
what you've got to do to beat him, but it's very difficult to do it, in the respect that you're probably going to have to hold in 15 and probably going to have to break in 12, which on paper
57.
sounds great, but putting it into practice is a completely different thing. And from 1-0 down, he's 6 darts from 186 away from opening up a 3-1 advantage.
100.
Averaging here in excess of 95.
100. Darius should require 86.
Treble 18 here, the shot.
$27. Kieran, you require 102.
So a little bit of a bag of nails there from Labanauskas.
82. Darius should require 59.
Had the opportunity there for Teehan. He missed tops for the 102. Labanauskas looking at 59 for a 3-1 lead. 2 darts at tops is what he wants. 1 left.
Game
Goes.
on the
Laban leads 3-1. He's
Darius
a
Labanauskas.
leg away from picking up a win, which would pretty much send him through.
5th leg, it's Kieran to throw first. Game on.
He'll definitely be in armchair mode if he can manage that. He's one of those that does watch all the
77.
stats and the tables and processes them in his mind, and he's one of those players, I believe, that likes to know what he has to do.
140.
Because Kieran Teehan hasn't picked up a point in this Group B, there's still a hypothetical scenario where
45.
4 players can all still be tied on 10 points in the group. So that's why Laban, despite having a really good legs difference and 10 points to his name, is pretty much home and hosed, but cannot be mathematically confirmed as home and hosed.
134.
In some sense, it's actually easier if the player at the bottom of the group has picked up 2 points because you know what your
59.
target is, and that's to get to 10 at all costs. So Laban closing this
40.
game out. Well, there is an irony that the cool, calm, collected Darius Labanauskas is telling himself to calm down.
140.
And he's got 6 here from 187 to cross the finishing line, a 4-1 winner.
$105.
And 82 after 12 puts him in a very good suit as for Kieran. It looks like it's going to be another slow start to a night.
100. Darius, you
A
require
certain amount of pressure on
82.
this 82. Which way would Darius go here? Will he go the 14s route and try and stay safe to make sure he gets a dart at the bull, or is he going to... Yeah, this is the thing, see. He goes treble 14 and hits it anyway. Could have been
50.
having 2 darts at tops if
Here
he'd have
you
done that
require
first
80.
shot. And I understand that's not the traditional way to go and the way that people go now, but in the situation, with your opponent on 80...
Game shot on the 5th leg. Kieran Teehan.
Although he did get a dart at double 16. It's a nice
6th
stuff
leg,
there
it's
from Teehan.
Darius to throw first. Game on.
You look at the averages between the two, and there is a 12-point difference in the favour of Labanauskas. Up there on his 91, and
60.
Teehan's there on 79, and somehow finds himself still in the game at 3-2. It's a funny old game, this one, Henry. A funny old game.
Well, it just keeps Teehan ticking over.
100.
And we do know in this format how quickly a game could just swing. Sometimes in a moment. Sometimes on a miss. And that was exactly what Labanauskas did on that double 16.
100.
Quite often you will see players win on a 97 average and their opponent having a ton plus. Usually the sign is their opponent has had the darts as well.
We have to give credit to the character of Kieran Teehan here, because of 3-1 down with Labanauskas running away with the match, it could have been so easy for him to have
84.
folded in the situation. But if anything, he's come back fighting, more determined than ever to try and force his way back into the equation.
60.
But only a 60 there has now reopened the door for Labanauskas to eventually see this game through.
Well, he used the momentum of the winning of the last leg to come into this leg going 100, 180, and now
140.
trebleless visit.
Require
Labanauskas has
161.
jumped on that.
So Teehan unable to take out the 161, and a finish like 117 is more than makeable for a man like Darius Labanauskas. This would put him on to 10 points and would pretty much put him home and hosed in terms of qualification. The biggest of 17s and the biggest of darts at tops. And that would have been for
97.
potentially the biggest of wins
Kieran,
for
you require
Labanauskas in terms
180.
of qualification.
Similar shot here for Teehan then. He'll go treble 20 first, hoping to hit that and then hit a big 18. Now he's got to squeeze that one by to get himself a dart at double 19. He could, of course, come out and go for the 48, but he hasn't done that. Tried the more difficult dart. Maybe the open shot of 48 to get a dart at the ball may have been the play, but
20.
He felt not.
And so double 10 for Darius.
Game
For a 4-2
shot
victory, it
and the
puts him on to 10
match.
points. And it
Darius
pretty much puts him there
Labanauskas.
in terms of qualification. The I's still need to be dotted and the T's still need to be crossed. But Darius Labanauskas is almost there. He can almost taste tomorrow night's final. He beats Kieran Teehan by 4 legs to 2. This is how he's done so, with an average of 91.5 just over. 4 from 10 on the doubles. Coming up after the break, Gemma Hayter up against Richard Rowlands.
So, welcome back to the Super Series here in Portsmouth, and we are on Group B, Day 2. If you're just joining us, you've missed Darius Labanauskas, group topper. Beat Kieran Teehan 4 legs to 2 in our previous match. I think Teehan must be feeling a bit sorry for himself. Darius has averaged around a 95 average on their 2 matches here in Group B. So he could be feeling a little bit hard done by, but we move on to Game 3, where Gemma Hayter is now taking on Richard Rowlands. Gemma played Game 1 this evening, where she was turned over by Steve West 4-1. Hometown is Gosport, just up the road, and we played England darts together back in 2016. Obviously, Gemma in the ladies and myself in the men's team up in Scotland at Glenrothes. And Richard Rowlands, the Welshman, he's had a great 2024, and the World Seniors movement has been a great thing for him this year. He's jumped on the seniors as well, started creating a name for himself, and Even getting lovely comments from the GOAT himself, Phil Taylor, in the way that he throws and plays. And I know he felt very flattered on those comments from Phil.
First leg, it's
That particular
Gemma
tournament,
to
so-
throw first. Game on.
He's a top man. It's kind of England versus Wales here. It's Gemma to get us going.
125.
Who is looking to get her first win of the evening session and just looking to banish that slow start that she had against Steve West in the opening game of the night. As for Richard, looking to qualify for a third consecutive finals night. The first series he's played in, 2 previous
121.
finals nights, 1 previous win, but didn't make it through the Group B at Champions Week last time out. Both of his group success have actually come through a Group C scenario.
140.
One of the 6 players that came through Group C in the previous series to then go on to make it into Champions Week and win their respective night.
Yeah, and should Hayter be able to win this one, she would be up a 4-point gap between
180.
herself and Richard Rowlands. And she
100.
started really well in this game. 125, 140, 100, but her opponent has started 121, 180.
It's been a quick start for Richard Rowlands in this match.
96. Gemma require 136.
Hayter with first poke at a finish. The 136 is still on, but couldn't find the second treble, which would have afforded her a dart at double 8.
70.
She leads herself on 66 and is hopeful that Rowlands cannot take out the 104.
So that's the right side of the treble 18 if you're going to go back there. Double 16 for a time topper
88.
to open
Gemma
the
require
match.
66.
Gemma Hayter on 66 after 12. Not too shabby indeed. 16 for tops.
26.
Just above, and you can see
Richard
what she thought of that.
16.
And so Rowlands returns for double 8 to take out the opening leg. It would be a breaker throw as well. And it will be done in 5-visit range. The double 8 is
on the
pinned. It's a
first leg.
14 darter.
Richard Rowlands.
And it's a breaker throw for Richard Rowlands. And he leads 1-0.
Second leg, it's Richard to throw first. Game on.
Should be. I mentioned this is one of the games where Gemma Hayter does have the darts this evening. One of 2 matches she'll have that. The other one is her next battle against Darius Labanauskas.
100.
For then concluding her night in game 8 against Kieran Teehan.
100. $58. $100.
So Hayter opens up with ton. She continues to make life difficult
83.
for Richard, as Rowlands had broken the throat in the first leg, so we know the break is only a break if you hold your own. And
123.
Gemma Hayter here, 1, 2, 3. To follow those 2 tons is really putting Rowlands under the cosh in this leg.
83.
6 darts then for the break back and a level contest at 1-1. Great second dart. Decides to stay there. Ton leaves on 78.
Once again, nicely done. Coming away with the last dart. Nice pick up indeed. So
Gemma, you require 70.
Pressure applied to the Hayter 78. Should get another dart at tops.
58. Richard, you
This
require
one was just a touch
40.
higher than the previous and she couldn't get over it. Just caught the flight. And that's Rowlands for tops himself. Last dart a double 10.
30.
Gives an opportunity
Gemma, you
to
require
Hayter.
20.
But cannot afford to miss this time. Doesn't miss this
Game on the
time.
second leg.
Hayter breaks
Gemma
back.
Hayter.
1-1.
Third leg, it's Gemma to throw first. Game on.
That first dart, usually when it lies there, you expect a couple more to follow.
140.
Very much an FDM, where if that first dart's pitched perfectly in the board, then she can really utilise that with the rest of her turn.
$99.
She holds the dart right at the very
60.
front, which is quite an unusual way. There are a few players in darts that do it that way, and I know the chat will go mad now saying, "Oh, there's loads and loads," but the one that springs to mind, Jim Williams, is very much like that as well.
95.
Holds right at the very front of the barrel.
$41.
Quiff, who lost out, of course, in the BDO World Final back in 2020 at the Indigo O2 to Wayne Warren, another player that I find very easy to pronounce.
Wes, you do.
I'm just glad
59.
that Richard isn't in a group with Robert Wickwood.
Or Cam Crabtree.
Or Reece Robinson, for that matter.
140.
I can't wait till they all rock up to play. Anyway, Hayter 120 for a 2-1 lead.
If they were all in Group A, you'd have to have a week off, H.
Well, they can be in week 6 if they want, because I'm on holiday. Anyway, Hayter 120 for a 2-1 lead.
34. Gemma require 120.
Looking to find the treble just below. Couldn't find it. And so
100.
eventually
Richard,
getting that
require
treble with the last start
140.
leaves herself on double 10 if Rowlands cannot find this.
Yeah, nicely done there from Gem. It's 54. He doesn't hit the treble 18, so Gem will be back at that double 10 that she hit
58.
in the previous
Gemma
leg.
require 20.
This time it's to hold, throw and not break. Surely a nice marker. Just a touch inside, double 5.
Game shown the
Once
third leg.
again, double 5.
Gemma Hayter.
Seems to be that Friday feeling about double 5
Fourth
today.
leg, it's
It's
Richard
been
to throw first.
hit
Game
far many more times than it's been missed today.
Forget Friday, it's been double 5 day here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. The green grass of double 5 has been the home for many this
96.
evening. And Hayter, who remember, had trailed this game 1-0, now finds herself 2-1 up. She got the break back. She managed to
80.
hold throw in the last and is looking to make severe inroads on the Rowlands throw here.
Yeah, she did well there to not react to that one that quite clearly sort of went flight on flight and dropped out of the treble 20, but Rowlands back in the lipstick.
140. 140.
Scoring power has been really good in this game. That's a 4th 140 of the match, outscoring Rowlands in this contest. 7-ton pluses compared to the 4. The only category that Rowlands actually outscores Gemma in is the 180s.
95.
And that's only 1-0.
$100. Richard, you require 170.
Rowlands looking at the fish to equalise this game at 2-2. Another. Would have left the bullseye, not to be on this occasion, and so Gemma can only try and set up a 181 and hope that there is a Rowlands miss upon his return.
$60. Richard, you require 65.
Generally goes 25. Oh, nicely done.
$49. Gemma, you require 121.
That was, he did the first bit right and impressed us all, but got the last bit wrong.
30. Richard,
So
you require
2 8s
60.
again for Rowlands to equalise this match up at 2-2. 3 of his 4 matches yesterday actually went to a last leg decider. And we may well be following a similar trend here. Hayter 2, Rowlands 2. After 4 legs, there's nothing to separate this pair.
It's Gemma to throw first. Game on.
Well, we go back into another one of those best of 3 shootouts, and
100.
It starts with a ton.
$137.
Great start to the leg for Rowlands, looking to find the breakaway. He did get one earlier on the game, does need to find another one if he is to win this match.
43.
Incidentally, away from the Super Series, we are going to see Gemma Hayter back in a few weeks' time. She's going to be playing at the WADC Windmill Women's Championship Tour Grand Final on the 9th of November. And you can be here for that by heading to www.dartshot.tv. That's where you can ascertain your tickets for that. And whilst you're there, you can also buy tickets for whichever Saturday you fancy at the Super Series. Scan that QR code. It will take you over to the website where you can buy your tickets to watch the hours. There are still some tickets available for tomorrow night's action. If you're very quick and you're very speedy, you can be here to watch the action. And if you're
96.
not, then don't forget to join us on the Super Series YouTube channel, where we're going to be with you from 7:30 in the evening all the way through to around about 11 o'clock.
60.
Richard Rowland leaves himself a bogey there. Hayter is not able to do a lot about it. The troubleless visit. So Rowland's now
100.
in the driving seat in this one. He will return for 68. Gemma will do her utmost to pressure that shot.
60. Richard, you require 68.
Again, 3 nicely thrown darts, but needed a treble 20 and one not quite going to her desired destination. So Rowland's now will 8 or a 16 here. A 7 kind of won't do it.
36. Gemma, you require 138.
And so Hayter needs a stunner, but the 138 isn't going to go, and so Rowlands is going to get that break opportunity at double 16, which if he finds, we'll see him
Richard,
have the darts to
32.
win this match.
Double eight to
Game shot on the fifth
Teehan.
leg. Richard
He
Rowlands.
now throws for the match. 3-2.
Sixth leg, it's Richard to throw first. Game on.
So Rowlands with the darts to get the job done in this match.
84.
Well, that treble 19 tidied up what looked to be quite a shaky start there from Rowlands.
100.
Which is nearly call Gemma Hayter the ton machine.
Alan Evans, the famous player associated with that particular nickname, fellow Welsh player.
140.
Richard, who is looking to join the likes of Justin Smith, Mike Warburton, Joel Worsley, Mike Gillett as Welsh winners of a week at the
140.
Super Series. Already done so once. No Welsh player has done so on multiple occasions. Although, of course, Warby and Justin are in the same week next week.
100.
So there's every chance that could change, although I'm sure Robert Thornton, fresh off the back of his double trouble win, will have other words to say about that. Hayter over Max, and now this leg gets a bit more interesting because Rowlands will set up for the match, but it's going to be under pressure.
Looks like he's coming out for the 19s.
97. Gemma require 81.
Leaves himself on 80 with the treble. Double 12 then for Hayter to go 3-3.
Game shot.
Nicely done by her.
Gemma Hayter.
A little 2-dart tip tap. Out she
Seventh and
goes.
final leg, it's Gemma to throw
11
first. Game
Dart
on.
leg as well to boot. Momentum surely now with Hayter.
101.
Gets off with a 101. Well, they do say in the old darts maths to get rid of the one as quickly as possible. And that's exactly what Gemma Hayter's done.
$96.
Well, it makes Gemma's life a little bit easier getting rid of the one with that treble 7 because she could just persevere on the 20s.
140.
Yes, you can, and that's a super visit again. 11-ton plus throws from her. 6 140s and a 180. To Rowlands is 9 tons, 2 140s and a 180. It's another 180 coming back in.
140.
Oh, it's another 140, and he chases Hayter down, but she really is not wanting to let this one go. It's a super ton in the circumstances here.
$57. Gemma, you
Rowlands
require
trying to hit
160.
95 there on the 19 section. 5 19s to lead 170. It didn't happen.
60.
And it's felt like that 11 dart leg there of Gemma's really knocked the stuffing out of Richard.
Yeah, really unlucky with that last dart as well, Gemma.
$85. Gemma, you require 100.
So that one strays into the 5 for Rowlands, and you can see what he thinks about that. Treble 19 and double 19 for a 4-3 win.
81.
So close and unlucky. She did the right thing. She had to go for it. It wasn't one of those she could go shy. So Rowlands should start down the bottom now. He has 104 up to treble 18. So Hayter will come back at the 19.
Gemma, you require 19.
Nicely done, double 8. And the first win on the evening for Gemma Hayter.
Gemma Hayter!
What a superb last leg from her. 17-dart holder throw. The smile on the face says it all. She managed to repeat the score from the previous evening against Richard Rowlands. 90.98. Not too shabby at all from her, but 44% on the doubles. That's when the game was won and lost, 4 from 9. Impressive from Gemma Hayter. We head off to a short break, and on our return, we will see Darius Labanauskas taking on Steve West.
Hang on a minute. Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first start from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Scape. Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable. Get match darts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Double 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy.
A couple more visits yet.
We're not going to need that.
Bosh.
Pie face is through. He gets
And he's
there.
absolutely buzzing.
It was a game that pie face dominated throughout.
So welcome back to the Super Series. And if you've just been off and put the kettle on and grabbed yourself a cuppa, before the break we saw Gemma Hayter get the better of Richard Rowlands 4-3, and that made a massive difference in the table. Labanauskas is top of the table on 10, and he's about to play. Gemma Hayter sits on 8 points and has put a gap between her and Richard Rowlands of 4 points now, who's in third place. So big gains for Gemma Hayter there in the previous game, but we now turn our attention to the next game, which is game 4 of the evening here on Group B, Series 1, Day 2, and Labanauskas is top of the table, and you have to say if Steve West has any chance of getting up into that third place, you feel that he has to beat Labanauskas here
It's Darius to throw first.
to keep
Game on.
it all in his own hands with just a couple of games to play.
Darius pretty much there, but a win will dot the I's and cross the T's in terms of progression. But for Steve, he did win his first game yesterday and performed well against Kieran. He's done the same here tonight, but we'll find out a little bit more here as to where he is and where his progress is.
54.
Heading towards that middle portion of the night, and by the end of game 5, when Rowlands plays Teehan, we'll know exactly where the situation is. Things look very good for Labanauskas. Things look very good for Hayter. West in desperate need of a win. Remember, he's preserving a perfect finals night record. He's played here 6 times before. He's qualified on all 6 occasions.
60.
And in 5 of those finals nights, he's gone on to win the lot. And so that is the type of prestigious record that Steve West is trying to uphold here tonight.
100. $95. Stevie require 140.
So West has turned the throw. Will be desperate to make this a treble 20, and in trying to
Darius should require
strays
152.
into the one. 152 for Labanauskas. He now will try to tidy this up. It's not in, Darius. 112 left, matey.
65. Stevie require 99.
Gets himself under a ton by using the 25. It's something that he does. Went for the 2 for tops and missed the big number there as Westy.
2 key slips in the last 2
75.
visits. And
Darius
on Darius's prowess, this could be troublesome for him. 87 for Labanauskas, 2 darts in his hand at double 18 to take out the opening leg, double 9. In it goes, Laban 1 up, 3 away from tomorrow night's final, and 3 away from putting Steve West in a real spot of bother. Not just would he be left languishing on 4 points, but the man in your picture there also needs to overcome a negative legs difference.
100.
Yeah, the frustrating thing there for West, he'd done everything right to break the throw as well, and you just don't expect to miss the big number. But it happens, it's
60.
part of the game, but you don't expect yourself to, and then that can sort of eat away at you. But the old Steve West would let that really, really get to him.
62.
One of late, we haven't seen that. He's got to get his head back on it. Because the minute you show
100.
Labanauskas a bit of weakness, he does pick up on it.
Devon Peterson was
133.
in these chairs, in this commentary box on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and he called him the dart bot, because the way Darius plays is so robotic. It doesn't give away much in terms of emotions, and you kind of know the sorts of level he's going to play at. As he mentioned earlier, holding 15, breaking 12, that's probably the mantra to beat him.
Yeah, and I would say that that's a very fair assumption from Devon there.
And if West takes out this 106, he will hold in 15. And he may have to hold in the 15, because Labanauskas here, with that ton, leaves himself on 101, ironically, after 12. Triple 18 would have given West a dart at double 16 to
58.
square this contest up.
And
so Darius for will be only the second ton plus check out of the night. And this would be for the break of throw. He's going to get a dart. Double top for a 2-0 lead.
81.
Does not go, and so West
require 48.
will get a reprieve.
8 for tops then for West. Now double 10.
Game shot.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
Third leg, it's Darius to throw first. Game.
Under amount of pressure there. $140.
Darius, a dangerous quandary here at the Super Series.
60.
I've got to give credit where credit's due to Matthew Edgar, because at the beginning of the year, maybe because he's been broken so many times by the heart to Darius Labanauskas, more times than Alfie Moon and Cat from EastEnders in his career by Darius, that he actually fancied him to go on and win a series this year, the Super Series. And he did come close, but he lost out to Cam Crabtree in the semi-finals, who got beaten off of the bat of Andreas Harrison by hitting a 1-2-1 on the bullseye when he was left on 4-4 to win the match. Not that he's ever going to hear me say those remarks.
Yeah, I remember watching that one and actually sending Cam a message and saying, "You didn't lose that one, kidder." Andreas went and won it, and that's exactly what he did.
100. Darius, you require 161.
His head was in a bit of a mash after that. Labanauskas 161 for 2-1 lead. Treble 19, treble 18, bullseye was the combination he was looking for. If indeed, of course, he was going to go for the ball. But nonetheless, leaving 32 after 12.
I can see the reasoning for going that way now. 2 stabs at the treble 18.
Darius,
Should you hit
require 32.
the 57, we'll leave you on 32. And most dart players would back themselves with 2 darts in their hand to hit a target.
Game shot on the third
That's
leg.
exactly what he did there.
Darius
Good ball management,
Labanauskas.
and then goes and takes out the desired double 8.
Steve to throw first.
To just hold throw. Westy won't be too bothered with that.
So I'm going to let you do one of your favourite things right now, and that's talk a little bit about your career. Because you played Darius in a World Championship match at the Lakeside in 2018. So you've got that experience of playing him on that stage. What kind of player is he like? How tough is he to get rid of?
He's very tough because he doesn't
140.
He doesn't break easily. You know, you try and do all sorts of things to this fella. And numbers, the better you play, the better he plays. And he tends to follow you and come with you. And if you're playing a scrappy game,
44.
he's always just doing enough to get you. He does watch the other player, I think. And I remember I probably had my best ever set in my Lakeside history
55.
in the last set to get him. And I remember beating him 3-0 in that last set.
Was that the one where you sprinted off stage?
I don't sprint anywhere, Henry. I know where you're going with this. And I'm not biting.
180.
Yes, I did have to go for a comfort break because I was feeling uncomfortable.
83.
Anyway, I'll stop taking as Wesley's 1-2-3 after 12. Labanauskas looking to set up for the break. And it looks like it's going to be that same match you're going to have to do against Darius Labanauskas, because he's going to leave himself in situ after 12 and West may have to hold in 15.
Even if you don't watch a player play while you keep your head down and everything, when you play Darius, you know when you get under that 100, you have a little look at the score. He's always going to be there with you.
The
game's all about giving yourself chances.
74.
And this is a chance for Steve West to hold his throw. 20 for tops.
34. Darius should require 40.
I think a shake of the head. We saw what Westy thought of that.
Because I don't think he expects to come back. And he's not going to come back. And Labanauskas gets the break of throw. He leads 3-1. One away from the finishing line. One leg away from tomorrow night's final. A second consecutive final. Steve West at the back of the stage. Not seemingly in the best of comfort. Now, he is returning following a spell out with hip surgery. And he's actually as we were mentioning earlier on this
60.
week, very much ahead of the curve. Came back, won a week straight away, got through to Champions Night, lost in the semi-finals to Jimmy Van Schie, but he's also been playing a lot of darts recently. And for any player, probably in a full bill of health, it could take a tiring toll. But for Steve, having come back from such surgery, I can imagine that the body is
45.
absolutely feeling it right now.
Yeah, there's a very good possibility with that. But I'm sure Westy wouldn't have come back early, or if he felt that he couldn't come and do a job.
94.
And we've seen him on previous visits, almost closer to the surgery time, that he's done the job and done the job well.
100.
And one thing we know from Steve is he'll only do something if it's 100%, and whatever happens, there'll be no excuses. He'll give absolutely everything, every single throw, every single turn, every single match. But this looks like a match which is going to be eking
57.
away from him. Labanauskas leaving himself on 150 after 12. West needs something makeable to even stay within range, and that's not going to happen. And so
60.
Laban has 6 for the match and
Darius
6
should
darts
require
to
150.
send himself through.
He won his last match with a 91.66 average, and he's going to be around that mark again should he take this out in 6. But now he's got a few problems here. He needs a treble.
46.
Hasn't found one. Snatches his darts out of the board there. He wasn't too impressed with that visit.
$58. Darius should require
This
104.
for his place in tomorrow night's final. Darius Labanauskas, the Lithuanian, is going to get a dart. A double 16. And that was to
88.
book his return to Saturday night. He is going to come back. Steve, towards the end of this game, unable to keep chase
92.
with this
Darius should
relentless
require 60.
Lithuanian who comes back at the board, looking at double 8 to confirm his
Game
place
showdown
into Saturday night
match.
showdown. Darius Labanauskas is back there again. There was nothing lucky about Lucky D's performances. His brilliance, his reliability and his consistency has seen him go through to tomorrow night's finals at a canter. And he is 6/8 of the way towards a perfect group, towards joining a small list of names that have won every single match in a Group B campaign. Darius Labanauskas has beaten Steve West by 4 legs to 1. Coming up next, Richard Rowlands up against Kieran Teehan. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we've reached the middle match of the evening session. And before the break, Darius Labanauskas got the better of Steve West by 4 legs to 1, averaging just underneath the 90 mark and 4 out of 10 on his doubles. And he has progressed his way through to tomorrow evening's finale. Myself, Henry Teehan, in the company of Scott Mitchell on this Friday night. Boy, am I enjoying your company this evening, Scott. And we are set fair for our 5th game of the evening session. And we are looking forward to watching Kieran, Teehan and Richard Rowlands go toe-to-toe on the live lounge stage. Rowlands, who with a win here could move on to 6 points and put himself, because of his good legs difference as well, in a really good position. Steve West could find himself behind the 8 ball in the not too distant future. And a matter of fact, it could all be over in a couple of matches' time, because if Rowlands wins this one, Richard's next game is against Steve West. And so by the end of game 7 of the night, we may well know the 3 that have progressed their way through Group B into Saturday night showpiece here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. In terms of this evening, Richard averaged 91.5 in a 4-3 loss to Gemma Hayter in a game that kind of swung back and forth. Whereas for Kieran, well, he averaged just above 80 in a 4-2 defeat to Darius Labanauskas. What do you expect, Scott, to see from this one?
57.
I expect a really pacey game. Oh, sorry. Looking at the wrong match there on my sheet. I expect a really tough game here, because Richard's pace probably is not going to suit Teehan here at all, and
180.
that slow pace, particularly when you start hitting, can be very frustrating to stand there and watch as an opposition player.
140.
Teehan, well done there. 140 back at the 180. Still a young man, Kieran Teehan, but a wealth of experience in the game. And you have like a light bulb moment with experience. You'll be playing a game, and then all of a sudden you remember you've been in this situation before, or you've had this situation before, and you remember then how you dealt with it.
60.
Sometimes you're able to then sort of dig deep and find something, but you can't put things in your head. You can't tell yourself that you don't like playing deliberate players, because otherwise you put that negative thought in before you even walk up the steps to put your foot to the hockey. So you have to be careful in these instances not to go up there with negativity before you start.
57. Richard, you require 83.
Rowlands here, looking at double 16. Now double 8 for a holder throw. He has got time on his side in this opening leg. Doesn't need time. 15 darter. Rowlands up and running. 1-0 he leads.
Second leg, it's Kieran to throw first. Game on.
Another strange thing with Richard Rowlands, he does only use an 18-gram dart.
25.
I do know of a few players that are actually more deliberate than Richard Rowlands. I found myself at the England Masters at the weekend and bumped into old friend Mickey Baker from up in the West Midlands.
180.
I remember having a right old ding-dong with him at one occasion. A best-of-7 leg, I think, went for an hour and 14 minutes.
Yeah, if I was commentating on that, I would have headed for home.
100.
I actually did have a chat with Richard before the session got underway, and we were having a little bit of a laugh and a joke about that 180 where he tied the shoelaces up midway through last night, and basically just having a general chit-chat about everything. And he just said he just tries to control the pace at the best of his ability. And I think
45.
actually he's trying to learn to play at a pace where he feels more suited and comfortable. And maybe even now at the stage of the career that he's at, is still just trying to find that right tempo for him.
140.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree. I mean, you can't walk around with your shoelaces undone. That's dangerous. You mustn't take risks like that.
$100.
Well, he's averaging in excess of 103 here. Here's Rowlands.
45.
Really good performances. And this is the type of stuff, and you play a lot on the seniors tour, Scott. This is the type of stuff that he produces time after time after time. He is such a great player when he's in full flow.
Absolutely, he is. But it's not just him. You've got Derek Coulson on the seniors doing the
55.
same. You've got Jim McEwen, and they're just player after player of this similar style. And it works for them. It really does work for them.
96.
You pay your money, you take your chance.
Richard
These
Rick,
guys do the same as everybody else does. And once they get to that hockey, they will play at the pace that they wish to play. 71 then, treble 13 now. And now double 16.
89.
It was only one place closer, and that was in.
95 for Teehan to square this contest up. Defeat here would end any small
55.
lingering hopes that he'd have of
Richard
making it
Rick,
through. Rowlands 32 for a 2-love lead. Two 16s for 2-0 lead. That should be a nice enough guide. It's close enough to be
on the
utilised as
second
a marker, and that's exactly what he
Richard
does.
Rowlands.
Rowlands 2-0 to the good.
Third leg, it's Richard to throw
Just
first.
double checking who had the throw. You did break, Richard.
$82. $80.
Last thing Teehan wanted there was that ricochet out of what looked to be a treble 20 to me.
95. $97.
So both players on 3-2-4 after 6 starts at the beginning of this third leg. It's interesting when you have a look at the career of Kieran Teehan, because a lot came
100.
very quickly. 25 years of age now, but his World Championship appearances came in 2020 and 2021, back when he was just coming out of teenagehood.
55.
And played at the World Masters back in 2019. He actually got to the televised stages of that particular competition, which took place at the Circus Tavern in Purfleet. Got through to the quarterfinals of that particular competition, where he lost out to a man that we're going to see here next week, Mike Warburton, by 4-2.
96.
As a matter of fact, we had a fellow player who's playing here this week who made it through to the quarterfinals of that event, and that was Neil Duff, who lost out 4-1 to John O'Shea, who would go on to win that particular title.
97.
If I remember rightly, I
Richard
lost to
Rick,
Warburton, I think, in the last
128.
32 there. So I would have been on a crash course towards Teehan all back then.
Indeed, you're correct. You lost by 3-2. I tell you what, Scott, it was a good game. Mike Warburton averaging 96.04. You averaged 91.84. Good game, that.
88.
Yeah, much rather been on the other end of it, but there we go. do remember the game well.
Richard actually got to the last 32 of that event as well. He lost by 3-1 to the
100.
Belgian Mario van den Bohada.
Richard, you require
And he
40.
could be 3-0 up if he gets his tops.
Yeah, we all know what Super Mario's doing these days.
Game shot on the third leg.
3-0 Rowlands.
Richard
16
Rowlands.
data, and that's what he's averaging for the match. 93.94, 50%
Kieran
on his
to throw
doubles.
first.
This
Gabe.
is an ultra-reliable performance from the ultra-reliable Welshman.
105.
And coming up next, we're going to watch Gemma Hayter, Darius Labanauskas go toe-to-toe. If Gemma wins her
38.
next game, then she'll be guaranteed her passage through to tomorrow night's final. It'll mean that this place will be pretty much packed to the rafters.
100.
You will struggle to get a ticket to the live lounge in Portsmouth if Gosport's Gemma Hayter makes it through.
I think you should come down anyway, because a little birdie told me that whether she probably makes it or not, she'll probably come along to finals night and have a look.
140.
She was here a few weeks back, wasn't she? Taking in the atmosphere.
Yeah, not a bad +1 she had on that occasion. Luke Humphreys.
100.
Now, there's been a topic of conversation this week, Scott, which has been called darts maths. And if we were applying the rules of darts maths, Richard should have started down on 303, because if he hit a 140 there, he would have left himself on a bogey finish. I suppose you can teach players a lot of things, but I suppose you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
I don't know. I'm an old dog. I
48.
always go treble 19. Don't very often hit it, but I always go that direction.
Darts maths.
Knowledge is the bomb.
However, Richard is just continuing to hit trebles, and because he's completely outscored
85.
Teehan, it means
Kieran, you
absolutely
require
now potentially.
148.
The only way it means something is if Teehan could take out the 148, of which he's unable to suffice to the task. And so
50
Rowlands here for a 4-0 win,
Richard, you require
which would put him in
83.
such a promising position. It would pretty much put Gemma Hayter on the cusp of the winners' enclosure in this group. So one dart at the ball for the match for Richard Rowlands. And he only needs the one dart to the ball to seal a 4-0 victory against Kieran Teehan. And it puts Welshie on the cusp of qualification. It puts him on to 6 points. It puts him in a very good suit. A really good performance. An average of 95.43. 4 from 7 on the doubles. And it means that Steve West, the 5-time weekly winner, the man who's made it through to 6 finals nights from 6, is in big trouble. Coming up after the break, Gemma Hayter can secure her passage through if she gets the better of the unbeaten Darius Labanauskas.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
They've both got the talent where they can just reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeats. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree. Only needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you
Labanauskas.
saying about efficiency?
On the third leg. Reece
Is that
Robinson.
the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanauskas. Game
Well,
Smith, is it a
Darius Labanauskas.
9? A long time, and that clenched fist. He gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
Game shot on the 4th flag.
Just like
Darius
that.
Labanauskas.
only needs the one. There you can see.
So that she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great dive.
On the first leg, Andreas Harrison.
It's a breaker throw for Andreas Harrison.
On the second leg, Dan Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw, double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Stepped up to the mark today without getting the results, and now he's had that win. This could be the moment though.
Will he? Why not? Oh, he has.
On the 6th flag.
Absolutely sublime from Mike Warburton.
Norton's also found himself on a sizable out. The bullseye. Oh, that is superb! The bearded dragon breathes fire into the life of this game. Legends everywhere in week 2 of Series 9. That is how things look next week here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. We are live with you from 9:30 on Monday morning on the Super Series YouTube channel. The former champion Andreas Harrison in action there, and what a way he won his series. Really was superb when he won that. He was unbreakable, he was unshakable, he was superb. Adams and Thornton, of course, the two legends in the mix too. We're going to watch that from 9:30 on Monday. So then, to Game 6 of the night, and it means an opportunity for Gemma Hayter to qualify herself through to the finals tomorrow evening. If she gets the better of Darius Labanauskas, she will confirm her place amongst the Super 6 here at the Super Series. Darius Labanauskas has already booked his ticket. Scott Mitchell booked his ticket a long time ago when he was asked to work tomorrow night. And we're going to watch this game, an intriguing match. And for Gemma, well, this was the opportunity she was hoping for when she set foot in this building yesterday evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And although this game yesterday was a 4-1 result in favour of Darius,
Gemma
the
to
actual
throw first.
average, there was absolutely
Game
nothing
on.
between them. It was 82 apiece. So with Gemma having the darts, if that sort of goes the same way here,
100.
you would feel that she should be getting darts at a double first. But we're seeing a very different animal in Darius this evening, and he's looking to want to go through the card, and that is definitely a sign of intent from him.
I'm going to do that thing where I'm going to preempt a 9-darter early, because Darius has hit a 9-darter at a World Championship, but he's not going to hit a 9-darter here.
Nope, because you mentioned it again.
57.
One throw too early. We need to leave it. Let them throw 6. We need to put a rule up on this wall here. Henry, don't mention it until 6 darts are in.
41.
Sure, I can get that made as a little plate to go up on the wall. It would be relief to everybody in the production team.
140.
Shall I just go in the corner and be quiet?
Don't put that to the vote, will you? Because there's only 2 of us in here, and my hand is already up.
Darius should require 124.
Laban wants 1-2-4. He's got plenty of time to take out this opening leg against Fro, and so that's why he goes treble 16 to leave himself double 8. Clips the inside wire, but he is going to come back.
$140.
Gemma applies a certain amount of pressure here. But Labanauskas for a 13-dart leg.
No score.
A wry smile from him. Double 13 reared its ugly head. It's tops for Hayter. Oh, yes, please, Gemma Hayter.
Gemma Hayter. Second leg, it's Darius to throw first.
No reaction from Gemma at all there. She does it all the time.
Gemma's rolling. Darius hates it. And she has done
60.
Darius dirty there with that tops the lead by a leg to nil.
$60. $100. $123.
Of course, you can get in touch with us at the Super Series at MSS Darts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And I hear that you're getting a lot of love tonight on our social media feed, Scott.
180.
Am I indeed?
Apparently, you're a couple of people's favourite ever world champion.
100.
Oh, that's very kind of them. Thank you very much.
Should require 161.
They know who they are. Labanauskas 161 to level this game at 1-1.
$87.
Even himself 74 to square this contest up. Hayter all the way back on 218.
$42. Darius should require 74.
And Labanauskas 74. And 6 darts from here to square the match up. And so down to his forever favoured double 16. Can he clip that off the barrel and in? Yes, he can. That was a perfect use of a lie there from Darius Labanauskas. You could hear that little clink into the bed. And Laban is back level.
It sure is.
60.
Wasn't going to take the chance on letting Hayter have a go at doubling that leg, was he? You'll notice Darius has different
140
stems or shafts on his darts, and they are as close to the colours of his national flag that he can get.
45.
But I've been sort of taking it in this evening, and he does throw them in a certain order. He throws the red one first, then the green. Oh, that's just blown my theory.
100.
He definitely throws the red one first, and he has done the last 3 times, and he threw red, then green. Maybe he just grabbed the wrong one. Let's have another look and see if my theory works.
He's going to throw yellow first. He's going to throw yellow first. But he starts red here. What does he go with next? Now he goes green.
That's what he usually does. I think just because I mentioned it,
60.
he grabbed the wrong dart. That wasn't my fault, Henry.
Cutting edge analysis from Scotty Dog Mitchell. That's why they pay you the
43.
big bucks.
Correct.
Well, the best bit about it is he started off with the yellow stem and flight. What have you done here, Scott?
100.
He's thrown it in completely the wrong order.
Doesn't take much to make me look daft, does it?
You're a good sport, Scott. You're a good sport. Right, Laban, 101. Back to the serious stuff.
101.
To move 2-1 up with a break of throw in hand. Double 16. Hasn't been as proficient as you'd expect it to be on this target tonight.
69.
And again, another miss.
Jamie
He's needed a
required
couple of goes
112.
at that target this evening.
That's a touch unfortunate. A wry smile there from Hayter.
76.
Nicely tidied.
Darius should require 32. Game shot.
Nicely done with the last
Darius
puff of the cheeks. He
Labanauskas.
wasn't sure whether that was going.
Full flag, it's Darius to throw first.
It's a break of throw for Labanauskas.
Game on.
And he actually threw them red, green, and then yellow. But that's not the point. He's gone yellow first again this time.
I think what we've learned is that Darius
95.
doesn't throw it in a set formation.
I don't think he's got a clue what he's doing with the colour scheme there. I used to see people use red, white, and
100.
blue, and they would throw the red, then the white, then the blue. They would all throw them in order, and it's sometimes something the players do to look at them in their hand, give them something to do while you're stood behind your opponent. Take your
99.
mind kind of not off the game, but not pay too much attention on what your opponent's doing. We've seen it with varying different colour flights. There's another routine that you do with flights, and
55.
I stupidly thought that that's why Darius did it, but no.
Well, it's actually players that if they have different coloured shirts, they'll have flights that are custom to the coloured shirt that they have. It's all about the brandage, isn't it?
100.
Yeah, brandage. I like it. Well, I only use pink flights and stems, and I always have. So that's why I match the shirt to the darts rather than the other way
180.
around. Because I've tried to use black and things like that, and it doesn't work for me.
Well, Hayter couldn't have done anything about that. Maximum, even herself on 166. All she could do is leave herself in the best possible suit, and that's exactly what she's done in this leg. Laban
83.
leaving himself on 124. Hayter would love a couple of triples here. Leave her on a double.
60. Darius should require 124.
He's gone for the treble as well, but it's bullseye now.
85. Jimmy require 106.
This is the target entirely, so needing a treble here. Treble 18. Double 16.
74.
2-2, and it just
Darius should
goes
require 39.
on the outside of the wire. Labanauskas now has to but use one dart. I think he aimed for the 19 there. I'm not so sure about you.
Game shot.
Whatever. He's hit the desired
Darius
double
Labanauskas.
16. Maybe he threw at the wire in the middle and might just
This against
surprise
Gemma
himself
throw
to see what he
first.
left.
Game.
Well, in the words of his walk-on song by the Guru Josh Project, he just relaxed and took his
140.
time. And at the minute, he is in infinity in this particular group, because if he wins this game, he's 7 from 7. He's in 7 heaven. And it could be a game away from joining an illustrious list of names that have won every
100.
single game in a Group B. Those are, in no particular order, Scott Williams, Lee Evans, Andy Bolton, Alex Spellman, David David,
95.
David Evans, Bo Greaves. Actually, there was a particular order. It was in order when they did it first.
100.
So in no particular order, there was an order there then, Henry. Well done.
1-1.
97.
Well, Gemma's realised that because of that slip with the last dart into the single 20, she's left herself on a bogey. That time it was a
34.
miscalculation.
Yeah, but she's got away with it with Labanauskas. And how often do you do it, miscount, and then hit 2 treble 20s?
129.
It's more often than you give credit for.
What a leg this is, though. Tops after 12 to bring it back to 3-2 and then force the Lithuanian to win the game on serve.
117. Gemma require 40.
Tops for Hayter.
Game shot on the fifth
13 darter
Gemma Hayter.
for Gemma Hayter. Back to 3-2. Darius has to serve it out.
Sick leg, it's Darius to throw first. Game on.
Hayter can pull this around. She will
60.
guarantee her place into tomorrow night's final. Or it could all be done for her, even if she loses this game, if Richard Rowlands could beat Steve West. That's our next game coming up.
140.
Nice start there from Gemma Hayter.
$100. $60.
All over the treble there from Hayter once more, but not finding the desired destination. Labanauskas is now trying to turn the throw back in his favour. Another one of those will take it away, and another one of those will definitely take it away.
140.
That looked in to me, but still leaves first to the finish.
And suddenly this game could change on a pinhead in a few moments' time, when it looked like Labanauskas was in full control of proceedings.
95.
Hayter may well be carving open an opportunity here to take us to a last leg decider. Could do the treble here, though.
60. Darius,
This for the match to keep Gemma Hayter waiting a bit longer to book her place through. Needed 2 of them to leave double 16.
57. Gemma require 101.
Double 12 coming in.
Game
and
shot.
a nice 101 to go with the 99. That Gemma had earlier. Fist
7th
pumps
and final
there.
against Gemma to throw first.
Good breaker throw from Hayter. Now throwing to win the match.
125.
What a good start that is as well. 125.
Throwing for her place in tomorrow night's final. And this place will be packed to the rafters if she makes it through. There will be a darty party in Pompey tomorrow if Gemma Hayter progresses. And she's playing well, averaging 92. 3 from 4 in the doubles. And she is sprinting towards that finishing line. And it looks like Labanauskas could well be spurning a 3-1 lead in this contest.
95.
The momentum is all with Hayter here. It still is. Keep hitting that treble 20. You can't not have the momentum. 125, 140, 140. Makes you very difficult to beat on your own throw.
From 3-1 down, Gemma Hayter has carved open a match-winning opportunity. Labanauskas has left himself on the fish. But this Gemma Hayter's moment to qualify through to tomorrow night's final. She now has to hope that Laban
Darius
hasn't got the biggest of fishes in his locker.
170.
Have a good look at this. First one's in. Breath of, or a sigh of relief from
105.
Gemma Hayter.
He
She
requires
probably thought that
16.
was going double 8 for a match winning
the match.
13
Gemma
dart
Hayter.
leg. She worked hard for that one from 3-0 down to Gemma Hayter. Clawed it back to 4-3. She just does not know when to give in, this young lady. Really pleasing to have her back in the game. Look at this, a 4-3 win, 94.12. Beats the 92.16 of Labanauskas. He didn't roll over and have his belly tickled there. 4 from 5 on the doubles for Hayter. Highest check out of 101. She guarantees her place in the Saturday night final tomorrow night and will be one happy lady. So we're going to head off to a short break, and when we return it will be Richard Rowlands taking on Steve West.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Richard Rowlands and Steve West are looking forward to battle here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Before the break, Gemma Hayter booked her place through to the finals, getting the better of Darius Labanauskas by 4 legs to 3, moving herself on to 10 points following 7 matches. And there is going to be a party in Portsmouth tomorrow night here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Well, for Darius, that's his first defeat of the evening, and it ends the relentless run of the Lithuanian in terms of winning consecutive matches. Rowlands and West next up for us. And Steve probably at points this evening has been left a little bit bewildered, particularly in this Group B scenario. He won his first match 4-1 against Gemma Hayter before then losing out by 4-1 against Darius Labanauskas. These two definitely not fluorescent adolescents, two players who ply their trade on the World Seniors Tour. West up against Rowlands, the idiosyncraticness of West up against the more measured and meditated nature of Rowlands. It is game on for match 7 of our night, and it's all going to be watched in the company of Scott Mitchell. Scott, for Steve West, it's all or nothing, because if Rowlands wins this game, then he has qualified through.
Yeah, I did say at the top of the show, I thought that Westy might have enough tonight to claw his way back in. He has an outside chance here.
137.
He would have to win both games, you feel.
125.
I know for a fact if Steve doesn't qualify, how proud he has been of his 100% record in qualifying here at the Super Series. It will be a record that he will relinquish with a bit of disappointment, but I think, again, that perspective has to be put into play as to where he is in terms of his road to recovery.
99.
And we both know Steve very well. I mean, you've travelled circuits with him for many, many a year. And yes, I think when he sits back, he'll look back at what's happened recently, but there's no doubt that there will be a huge twinge of disappointment 41 if he doesn't qualify through tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I've tried to follow him on a French and Belgian motorway.
137.
He's difficult to keep up with there too, I've got to be honest with you. But he's a proud man of his record here, and quite rightly so. It's not the easiest place to come, and there are lots of little things that can get in your head here, and he's been brilliant.
Steve, you require 140.
Since losing his card here.
100. Richard, you require 114.
And for me, no matter what he does this evening, there aren't too many that wouldn't want Steve West's record here in this building, that's for sure, on their CV.
$14 for tops for Rowlands to take out this opening leg. In it goes, and Rowlands is free away from tomorrow evening's finale and from preserving his own 100% record in terms of qualification. It'd be a third time in 3 appearances here that Rowlands would have made his way through.
82.
And it would be a very rare occasion that in a series that simply the West wouldn't be simply the best. And no, I'm not going to go out full cry on the tune of Tina Turner right now. I think everybody would be glad to hear that.
134.
And Steve has actually qualified for Champions Week in every single series he's appeared in.
Like I say, Henry, he has a record here that most would be more than happy to have on their own CVs.
59.
But of course, with Richard, he's one of those players that we've spoken about it a little bit, haven't we, today?
96.
Where he's kind of blossoming towards the tail end of his career. That World Seniors Tour has done so much to raise his profile and to give him experiences that maybe 5-10 years ago he could only dream of in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
100.
we heard Derek Coulson just a couple of weeks ago singing the praises of the World Seniors Tour, and
96.
I, for one, do enjoy it. You meet up with a bunch of old adversaries from bygone county days and obviously tournaments back in the WDF BDO days.
100. Stevie require 127.
Some of those guys would have been on the PDC while we were doing the other tour. Bullseye for West.
81.
Pushed it to the right there.
108.
Richard Rowlands chasing his second ton plus shot of the match in just 2 legs. 108. Westy shaking his head in the background.
Game shot.
And this goes as well.
Leg.
2 ton
Richard
plus
Rowlands.
checkouts for
The leg, it's Richard to throw
Rowlands.
first.
He had a
Game on.
129 yesterday. I recall he's now added another 2 ton pluses to that.
2 for 2 on the doubles, the average 100.2. Richard Rowlands is playing really well, and Steve West is in real trouble here.
59. $45.
Westy looks a little bit forlorn in the face.
100.
He's getting the feeling no matter what he does, Richard Rowlands is always going to be there.
96. $100.
Well, it looks like Steve West
60.
could well be within moments of losing his perfect record in terms of qualifying for finals nights. Richard Rowlands within a couple of legs of preserving his perfect record in terms of qualifying for finals nights. It does feel like now a case of one-way traffic.
60.
And that traffic moving in the direction of Richard Rowlands. West needs to find a couple of trebles just to leave himself on a finish. He's not going to do so. A shake of the head
55.
from him, but a door which has really opened here for Richard Rowlands.
$60.
Tried to float that one over the top, didn't quite get the trajectory correct, and Westy's looking here for 95, but he does fill it up. Gets a
Richard, you require 122.
3-3.
This for 3-0 lead, and if he takes this, we could be on for a slice of Super Series history, but the 1-2-2 isn't going to go, and that history
54.
would have been that
Steve, you require 112.
never before in this building has somebody won a game with 4 ton plus checkouts. West looking for a ton plus of his own, but he's not going to take out the 112. And so
48.
Richard will return 68
Richard, you
for
require
a 3-0
68.
lead, and to put himself to within a leg of qualification through to tomorrow evening's finale. 16 or 8, which one does he want? 16 for double 16. but it does not go. And so West
Steve,
does
you
get a
require
chance at 64. And now he only gets a dart, but that dart's at tops.
44.
Just underneath.
Richard, you require 32.
Well, again, Westy a lift. Double 16 for Rowlands then.
Game on the third
And he hits
leg.
it.
Richard
One leg
Rowlands.
away for guaranteeing himself
Full
qualification
bag, it's Steve to throw
to
first.
the Saturday
Game
night
on.
final.
$65.
Well, Steve, as you could tell, really frustrated about the situation. 3-0 behind. Rowlands pretty much has the game, the group, the scenario pretty much where he wants it.
137.
You have to say that if you look at his performances this evening, it is a warranted place in the final. Average 91 in a
100.
defeat to Gemma Hayter. Average 95 in a 4-0 win against Teehan. And here, averaging just a shade under 88. And the key to this game has been his
99.
consistency in terms of one treble visits. There hasn't actually been a score of 140 or more in this contest. 10 scores of a ton or more for
125.
Rowlands. 7 now for West.
Yeah, Rowlands was second in the averages last night. He averaged 89.05 over the evening.
57.
It didn't see him anywhere other than third place in the group.
$41.
Eking ever closer towards the line. Steve West shakes his head. He knows his fate is pretty much going to be sealed shortly.
180.
Unless he
170.
finds the fish. He's not able to do so. And so Rowlands will return. Double 14
40.
to book his passage, book his
Richard, you
ticket
require
through, and
28.
to end the unblemished run of Steve West in qualification weeks. Double 14. And Richard Rowlands completes the set of combatants for the first finals night of Series 9. He gets the better of Steve West by 4-0, doing so over 14 darter. And Walshy can be relieved because he is through to the finals, doing so with 2 top plus checkouts en route to a 4-0 win against Steve West, for whom his perfect record in terms of qualification through to the finals is over. Rowlands preserves his. 3 times he's been here, 3 Saturday nights. Coming up after the break, we have got 3 more games to go, and they kickstart with Kieran Teehan against Gemma Hayter.
Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's £100 down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the ball. Ball.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first out from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Skate.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable. Get match darts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Number 4 for the title.
Game shot out the mat. Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Oh, Bosch.
Pie face is through. He gets
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game with that pie face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Richard Rowlands confirmed his place through to the finale, getting the better of Steve West by 4-0. And these are our qualifiers for the first finals night of Series 9. Carl Wilson won Group A on Wednesday. Neil Duff and Bradley Brooks confirmed their place through Group C earlier on this afternoon, whilst Darius, Labanauskas, Gemma Hayter and Richard Rowlands have all qualified through Group B. If Gemma Hayter gets the better of Kieran Teehan in what is her last game of the group, then she will finish second no matter what. There'll be no strings attached. She will be in second spot, which will mean that she will be in a group with the second place player in Group C, which is Bradley Brooks, and the top place player in Group A, which is Carl Wilson. Teehan approaches the board. 2 more games to go for him. 2 more chances for him to get his first points on the board.
120.
Another dart on the floor for Teehan. It's just been a reoccurring
28.
theme this evening for him.
$96. $85.
As for Kieran, I can imagine right now this is going to feel like a very chastening experience for him.
100.
And one thing that he does have in his favour, of the 7 matches we've played tonight, 6 have gone with throw. And just the one hasn't.
43.
And that was when Teehan had his last start. Although that was against table topper Darius Labanauskas.
145.
Well, he's got off to a quick start here. And I think when you're in Kieran's scenario as well, you want to put in a good performance, just almost for yourself more than anything
60.
else.
Kieran, you require 40.
Yeah, definitely. And he...
Game shot on the first
couple
leg.
of games off,
Kieran
and that feel
Teehan.
like forever when you're trying to get back onto that board and turn things round. You can stand in
Ciaran
that
against Gemma
practice
to
room and throw it
first.
whatever you like. He's probably been hitting everything out there. I experienced that
66.
just a week ago here. But when I came out here, it just wouldn't quite go right for me. So I can sympathise
97.
with him and Steve West. Some days it just doesn't happen, and it's never for the lack of trying.
45.
More often it's for the sort of over-trying reason.
Well, Steve will take on Kieran in the last game of the night. Labanauskas and Rowlands is our penultimate fixture of the evening.
95.
But we're locked into battle here in game 8 as Teehan and Hayter joust it out.
140.
And it's a real good performance so far from Kieran. I know it's still early days, but the average of 106, 13 data to
43.
win leg 1. And I think Gemma knows that she's through, and I think maybe it's just hit an adrenaline wall to a certain
97.
extent, where because she knows she's through, that natural adrenaline that courses through the body to get you to the point of progression may well be leaving the body.
140. Kieran, you reckon 122. $42. Jamie Raquai, 112.
So Hayter 112 to level this game up at 1-1. Great treble 20 there, double 16.
Game
That's
shot
a
the
haymaker
second
from
leg.
Hayter.
Gemma Hayter.
Just when it looked like Teehan was going to run away with this contest, Hayter
The leg, it's Kieran to
with
throw
a big
first.
blow to the
Game.
Irishman. They see her rolling. They hate it. Gemma Hayter levels up at 1 apiece.
34.
Second ton plus shot of the evening, and let's not forget that 99, 19 tops as well.
60.
Probably better than a ton plus when you have a double to finish. I'm sure that will be in the highlight reels tomorrow before her
59.
Saturday night game.
There will be a very expectant crowd
140.
here tomorrow night. And Gemma looking to follow in the footsteps of Bo Greaves in terms of winning a week. The only female player to do so. In fact, she's the only player,
57.
Bo Greaves, to have gone through an entire week undefeated. Of course, that is not going to change this week.
123.
But this is a massive step in the right direction here for Gemma. Had such a good year, and this just feels like another real step on that progressional path.
140.
And no matter what happens from here now, for the rest of her week, she has 1, impressed, 2, very much
138.
enjoyed herself, and 3, came what she came to do, and that's get to that finals night. And she's achieved that. So there's a certain of
Gemma Raquai,
element
40.
of freedom she can throw with here.
Game shot in the third leg. Gemma Hayter.
And that's a 14 dart breaker throw there for
Fourth leg,
Gemma
it's
Hayter
Gemma
to
to
move
throw
2-1 to the
first.
goods.
Game
And Kieran Teehan raced away with that 13 darter in leg 1. But ever since then, it's been a game in the possession of Gemma Hayter. That 112
100.
finish has pretty much knocked the stuffing out of this man from Cork.
$80.
Yeah, it's just incredible what can happen after a big shot like that.
96.
If you're in Kieran's corner right now, what would you be saying to him?
$47.
Just remain positive. It's very difficult in dark times to see the positives.
140.
Hayter's not helping with that either. You've just got to find a rhythm here somehow or another. And that's more like it.
180.
As a player, sometimes in these times you think, where did that come from? It came from inner belief,
95.
because when your back's against the wall, you've got to come out swinging.
100. Jeremy requires
And in
70.
this company, in this environment, you don't get a moment's peace. Hayter, 20 for tops for 3-1 lead. And she's looked really at home in this company. 14 followed by 15. Hayter 3-1 to the good. And I don't want to
Flag, it's Kieran to throw first. Game on.
raise the bar so high so early, but at what point, when you look at the illustrious company that Gemma Hayter has dispatched to qualify here, do we talk about potentially
60.
going on to win tomorrow night?
Well, I see no reason why not. We're looking at her double stats here at 3-1 and saying she's 3 from 4 on the doubles, and that's what wins you games. And you look at her previous game against Labanauskas, she was 4 from 5 attempts at a double.
59.
And then the game before that against Richard Rowlands, she was 4 from 9. So the last few games, as soon as a double has come her way, she has hit them more than she has missed them.
Well, Gemma has been a shining light here at the Live Lounge over the last couple of days.
85.
And when you look at the year ahead, you'd think now she's going to be at next year's World Match Play at the Winter Gardens, just considering where she is in the order of merit and how little time she's
35.
had to accrue that particular position. And who knows, maybe not this year, but in the near future, it wouldn't be a surprise to see her on the Ali Pali stage.
Stranger things have happened there, Henry, and I've been super impressed with her since her return, and it really didn't take long, the rise to
60.
Having that semi-final in that first weekend of the Ladies Series back in March, and it's just
81.
propelled her forwards. She's one of those ladies now performing at a high level
96.
and achieving alongside it as well.
For the match, treble 15 would have given her a go at tops to get over the line, and so Kieran Teehan 132 to extend this game ever further.
Treble 19 would leave the ball. This would be some consolation.
Jeremy requires 60.
Is that the last dart he throws in this match?
Yes, it is, because Gemma Hayter ends with a win. She gets the better of Kieran Teehan by 4 legs to 1. A superb performance to round off her campaign. She's going to be a threat tomorrow evening when it comes to the finals. Hayter getting the better of Teehan by 4 legs to 1, dispatching the man from Cork in 10.5 minutes. We'll see him in the last game against West. But we're going to see 2 of our qualifiers go toe-to-toe in our next match as Darius Labanauskas takes on Richard Rowlands. And there is a possibility that if Rowlands wins this game big, Gemma Hayter could top the group.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
They've both got the talent where they can just reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only
needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you saying about efficiency?
On the third leg.
Is that the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
shot on the second leg. Darius Labanauskas. Game shot.
Josh Smith is it
Darius Labanauskas.
a 9? A long time, and that clenched fist.
Game shot.
He gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
game shot on the fourth leg.
Just
Darius
like that.
Labanauskas.
only needs the one. And there you can see
that she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality comparison. This would be a wake up.
welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great dive.
Shot on the first leg.
It's a breaker throw for Andres Harrison.
Shot on the second leg.
Consecutive breaker throw, double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Gemma Hayter got the better of a depleted Kieran Teehan by 4-1 in our 8th game of the evening session. And so game 9 sees Richard Rowlands and Darius Labanauskas go toe-to-toe for the final time behind closed doors this week, because they could well meet tomorrow night in the final, and if so, they'll do so in an electrifying atmosphere here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Venue, Scott, which has definitely revolutionised the sport, and it was probably unimaginable not too long ago to think of a scenario like this where players like Darius, players like Richard could be playing in an environment like this. But here they are into the finals, and both know what it's like to get through the Champions Week, and that's what they'll be looking to do again.
100.
Yeah, indeed they will. Richard Rowlands making it again for the 3rd time. Will once again, it will feel
100.
after 3 attempts for him, unimaginable that he doesn't get a 4th chance at some point.
I think Richard's going to be a household fixture, isn't he, here to stay at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, whereas Laban will be hoping, realistically, that this is his final series here, because it's the last series of 2024, and a player of his calibre and his capability, you'd be fully expecting to be on the tour in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. One of his best mates on the tour, Modus. Razmar's probably feeling like he's got his left arm cut off at the minute without his mate Lucky D there with him. Travel together and everything.
140.
One thing I do know is this match will not be played at an electrifying pace.
$57.
Darius with 6 on 201 to take out this opening leg.
85.
Even 116 after 12, and Rowlands just a little further behind.
$140. Darius should require 116.
Tops for the 116. Tots
Game
found for
shot on the
Darius.
first leg.
Add the 116
Darius
to the
Labanauskas.
collection. It's actually his first leg of the night
Second
in
leg
terms
is
of a
Richard's
ton plus
right
variety. And it's the leg that confirms that he will top the group no matter what.
And those of us that have played here will know there's certain financial ramifications on
85.
positions you finished within these groups. And he would not have wanted to have been topped in this group the way that he's played throughout his Group B campaign.
140.
Labanauskas all undeserved his top spot.
We should say that Darius saved his best performance last night for his final fixture against Kieran Teehan, and he may well be doing something similar here.
Yeah, it was
59.
100.77.
$140. $100.
Darius 6 on 2-2-1 to get the breaker throw and to open up a 2-0 lead in this contest. 140 leads himself on 81 after 9. This is a really impressive performance here from Darius. Darius is going delirious, Scott.
$100. Darius, you
To say
require
there's nothing
81.
lucky about this performance for Lucky D. So far, he has been absolutely on it.
56. Richard, you require 157.
This is the button in the middle on this occasion. This would be a mighty, mighty finish from Richard Rowlands to take this 157. Not to be now. Staying up and probably head over to the 18s to round it off.
93.
Hits
Darius,
the
you require
treble.
25.
A certain amount of pressure applied. Can Darius tidy up this 25? Oh, he left the arm in. He thought it was in there.
Game
That one
on
is.
the second leg. Darius
Without
Labanauskas.
Yeah, that's kind of Darius's
So
tell,
look,
isn't it? The
Darius,
darts
the trophy.
good. He just leaves
on.
that hand hyperextended for a little while. And we have a hyperextended highlights package of this Group B for you, available on the Super Series YouTube channel come the end of play this evening.
140.
Available to your heart's content. Tailor-made for you on the Super Series YouTube channel.
Yeah, I like those little highlight reels that we're seeing now of the groups. If you've been unable to see the group, you can catch
96.
up very easily. Good work from the socials team. Getting those out there.
Big operation here at the Super Series
60.
to make it happen. A lot of people behind the cameras, behind the scenes who work tirelessly through the week and through their weekends as well to make this such a glistening operation. And we're the lucky
139.
ones, Scott, that get to sit with these microphones in hand and get to watch world-class darts.
$60.
Rowlands knew that the timing was all wrong there.
80. 95.
So Laban leaving himself on 146 to put himself 3-0 to the good in this contest. Rowlands, though, can leave himself in a better suit following these three.
There's a little dance along the oche. Well, it's nearly that time of year. Strictly is back soon.
Darius,
you competing this year, Scott?
No, I'll give it a miss. They don't seem to sell 2 left shoes or for the dancers.
Forget the dancing. This could be darting with delight. Oh, yes. Oh, boy. There's nothing
Darius
lucky about that.
Labanauskas.
Laban with a 146 to move himself 3-0 to the goods.
Game on.
Well, I was chasing back through the stats this evening. I found it quite hard to believe that Darius hadn't hit a ton plus shot out yet in the group, and now he's done a couple in the same game.
45. $83.
How do you reckon Richard will be feeling now, 3-0 down, Scott? I mean, the job's done, isn't it? He's got himself through, but the last thing you want to do is lose convincingly in your final match.
140.
Yeah, because you kind of take that into tomorrow. You want to go in off a high and winning that last game, but both players will be feeling exactly the same about that situation.
136. $58.
Well, Laban here averaging in excess of 101, and following that 58 from Rowlands, if he can find a couple of trebles here, will leave himself on a finish to win this contest.
100. $140.
There wasn't options to go 18s there once he'd hit the second treble. But a 140 does a better job.
$102. Richard, you require 118.
An active darting defiance of the 118. Needs the treble here to leave double 19.
It's nice and open. A clear target to go for. And he's hit it. So now double 19.
99. Darius, you
Lovely
require
facial expression
80.
there from Richard Rowlands, as if to say, no, it's not in.
And this is for the win. 2 in hand at double 10. Off the barrel at him. Darius has been delirious. He has been delightful. He's been dazzling. And he is the diamond in this Group B. He is the winner of this Group B. And he beats Richard Rowlands by 4 legs to 0. Doing so with 2 ton plus checkouts in there. Darius having a chat with Owen Binks about the night that he's had. And it's been a good night for Darius Labanauskas. And for the second night in a row, he finishes off with a ton plus average, 100.2 in a 4-0 win against Richard Rowlands. A cracking performance from Darius. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to have a swig of water, and we're going to watch Steve West up against Kieran Teehan.
Welcome back to our YouTube viewers here at the Modus Super Series in Portsmouth, and Group B is all decided who sits where in the table. A bit of a dead rubber here to finish. It's our 10th and final game of the evening. Darius Labanauskas reigns supreme in Group B.
First leg, it's Steve to throw first. Game on.
Week 1 of Series 9. He heads into Saturday night alongside Gemma Hayter, who finishes in
100.
second. And what a performance it's been from her over the last 2 evenings. Richard Rowlands takes the third and final spot.
140.
Saturday night final here from Group B.
What would be your overall reflections on the group as a whole, what we've seen over the last couple of days?
I think most will be pleased to see
57.
Gemma Hayter having such a good time in this group. I think we probably all expected Darius to be there and thereabouts with 3 from 5 from this group. Probably Steve West has been the surprise, but
140.
A great deal of your savings on him not making it through, but it just hasn't been
97.
for him.
Kieran, you require
Through
164.
one reason or another. He just hasn't looked himself in this Group B this time around.
100. Steve, you require 144.
It's one of those, it doesn't happen every single time you arrive on that stage. It just didn't quite for Steve West on that particular occasion. And
64.
Teehan, who is still searching for that first win of this group, could it come in the last game of it? He's left himself on 64 to take a 1-0 lead. He's going to get a dart at double 16, which
Steve,
goes wide of the mark. Totsa West for a ton plus change. He's really taken out the ton tonight, and he's done so again. He leads 1-0.
Steve West. Second leg, it's Kieran to throw first. Game on. 100. $140.
So West 1 up in this game against Teehan. It's the final match of this Group B before we head into finals night tomorrow on the Super Series YouTube channel.
60.
We kick off our coverage from 7:30 p.m. on the Super Series YouTube channel. I hope you can join us for it.
44.
Is there a clear favourite yet for you, Scott?
I really don't think so. I think it's... I know it's a bit of a cliche, but
57.
It's quite an open evening, I think, on Saturday night. It's all about somebody sort of grabbing it by the horns. I think possibly that the bookies may look at Neil Duff as a favourite, maybe, but that would be probably off of today's performances alone, because he looked himself today in Group C. Probably looked more himself today in Group C than he has in the last couple of weeks here.
29.
And I'm sure he'll be one of the happiest going into Saturday night with the run that he had today. Bit of confidence going in.
41.
There's no harm whatsoever, but I think all the players are experienced enough to know you're back playing sort of knockout darts. There is a mini group tomorrow. Group 1 and Group 2.
Kieran, you require
to find your semi-finalists. But it still feels like knockout darts, even though it's a group.
Double 18. And that would have been for the 144 to join the ton on the nose. Now then, Steve. He was always going to go 3 bullseyes in that scenario. And so Teehan to square up.
Kieran,
Look at it, 35. Double 16.
Game shot on
And
the
this
second
game
leg.
is all square,
Kieran
1-1.
team. Third leg, it's Steve to throw first. Game on. $43. $100.
Nice last start there through the gap for Teehan.
94. $60.
And at this point, Kieran's just trying to do anything he possibly can to save himself from the indignity of going 0 from 8 in a Group B campaign. And Kieran's too good a player to be in a position where this is his fate. It's just been a week that has not happened for him, but we will see him again. Of that, there is no doubt. And I'm sure when we do see him again, we will see probably a player that will get a bit more determined by what has happened last time.
41.
Yeah, nice lad, Teehan. That's good support from his family.
96.
His dad's quite often with him when you see him elsewhere.
43.
Behind every great player, there's a support network, so I know that he has that in place.
95.
I'm sure they will be rallying around him following this experience. But he is
64.
in with a break chance in this leg. 92 to break the throw and to make it 2-1. Double-double, or does he stay there? Stays there for double 6.
86.
Goes on the inside. West looking for the champagne shot.
132.
Hits the treble 19. That dart was in a perfect
60.
position.
Kieran, it requires 6.
Not to be on this occasion, so it's double 3.
Game shot in the third leg. Kieran Teehan.
The tallest guy in the group. He's the lowest double on the board.
Fourth leg, it's Kieran to
Nails
throw
it.
first. Game
His
on.
first dart. He's known to his friends as
60.
Hightower.
Not the first tower we've seen here at the Super Series. The other tower we've seen
32.
has gone on to do some very good things. Dom the Tower Taylor, who is a player on the Pro Tour this year who has really
99.
taken it like duck to water, and you'd expect he's probably going to go in one direction, and that trajectory is up.
Yeah, another little known fact about Don Taylor.
93.
He has this absolute craving for spicy pepperoni. It's one of his things that he carries in when he was here. Used to bring 4 or 5 of those with him for a
100.
session. And that would be his little snack between games.
I suppose whatever floats your boat.
96.
Not quite the dairy milk buttons and Maltesers mind that's got us through this evening session.
Thanks for that. My wife knows now what I've been eating.
Oh no.
59.
Dropped you in it.
Yeah, don't worry, mate.
Do you want to take the doggy bag home?
No, it won't help.
45.
Don't speak too loudly, otherwise we might have a very jealous production crew who might come storming in here in a few moments.
135.
Well, Teehan leaving himself on 48 to open up a 3-1 lead to put himself in one of his first win of this group.
85. Kieran, you require 48.
And look what West has left again, 150. But is he going to get a go? Double 16 for Teehan. 2-8s to tee up a 3-1 lead. In it goes. And Kieran is a leg away from picking up his first win of this group. He leads Steve West by 3 legs to 1.
Game on. $60.
And I think if Steve could maybe just press the button, the tap out button, maybe he would take it right now. It's not in his nature to give up, but you can just tell that tonight's just taking its toll a little bit.
$57. $55.
It's a UKDA county weekend, and some of the distant travellers within the next couple of hours will be getting on buses to head to their destination to play against other counties from one end of the country to the other.
As far as the next step for Steve West, I suppose is a bit destination unknown. We know he's going to be playing at the British Open in Bridlington next week. He's already put his entry in for that, alongside Thomas Banks, who we wish a happy birthday to. Well, for yesterday. Same as Steve's wife, Michelle, who also was celebrating her birthday yesterday. Well, I say yesterday, kind of today, kind of yesterday, kind of weird. 115 for Teehan. The Manchester City shot. Triple 20 for double 18. Does not go.
59. Steve, you've got 134.
Well, Kieran Teehan has been waiting all group for this opportunity. West has left himself in the madhouse. Teehan for the match. 2 at tops to get the job done. 2 10s.
36.
Doesn't go. Steve West will return for the madhouse.
1 up, 1 in.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Steve West.
That's the double purpose.
6th leg, it's Kieran to throw first. Game on.
Kieran to throw first then. I think Westy thought it was his throw, but
100.
Well, it was wishful thinking. Teehan with the darts to complete tonight's action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Just a reminder of the start time tomorrow. Not that we're going to see these two in action tomorrow night. 7:30 on the Super Series YouTube channel till roughly around about 11 p.m.
125.
It should be interesting to see who wins tomorrow night. And you could be here tomorrow night. And I think it's going to be fairly busy here because Gemma Hayter's going to be in action tomorrow night. And I think there's going to be a lot of people for Portsmouth that'll be
41.
Here to watch her in action. Scan that QR code. It takes you to a website called dartshot.tv. And for just £2, you can be here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth on any given Saturday.
$100.
West has left himself on 140 to take us to a last leg decider in this last game of the group.
140. Steve, 140.
Good work there from Teehan. put this under, but the first one's in, the second one's in, double 10 for West. It's on the wire.
120. Kieran, it requires 74.
This to complete a 4-2 victory. One dart at top for Kieran Teehan to get the job done. And he's now missed a dart to get his first victory on the board. And West comes back for double 10. Double 5. Inside. And Kieran Teehan's going to get 3 in his hand to finally get a win on the board. It's awkward. It's double 15. Double 4. Does not go, and Steve West will return for double 2 to take us the distance.
No score.
Busts it. And Teehan will come back for double 4 to complete a 4-2 win to end this Group B. And finally, Kieran Teehan is in the winner's enclosure. He gets the better of Steve West by 4 legs to 2. It was not a group that worked out for Steve West. He doesn't qualify. Neither does Kieran Teehan, but he does at least end with a win. He beats Steve West by 4 legs to 2 in the final game of the night. And the final game of the group, a group which has seen Richard Rowlands progress through, Gemma Hayter on debut make Saturday, and Darius Labanauskas be the standout player. He won 7 out of his 8 matches. He's the winner of Group B. Myself and Scott Mitchell will be analysing all of the action on the other side of this short break. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where our Group B session has been completed. And as you can see, Richard Rowlands has joined us in the studio for a chat. Richard, many congratulations. 3rd time here at the Super Series, 3rd time into a finals night. How pleased are you?
Oh, I'm over the moon. Seriously, absolutely fantastic. What a group, eh? Darius was on fire, but I mean, I think the only person to be spoken about in that group is Gemma. She was absolutely sensational. I threw everything at her in 2 games, including the kitchen sink, and she just held up. She was amazing. Great for the ladies' game, I think. It was brilliant.
It's incredible to see that smile on your face, because you are a player that's really come to preeminence towards the twilight of your career. I think that's fair to say,
this is true, yeah.
And I suppose you must be embracing these opportunities, aren't you, when they come?
Every time. I enjoy going up. I have no inspirations in the game. I think, you know, everything for me is just, I'll take one game at a time and see how far I can go. I go on that hockey. Nobody likes to lose, do they? So it's one game and I give it my all.
The sport is saying it's a young man's game at the minute, but you're sat in here again now. It was Richie Burnett again last week. It was Derek Coulson a couple of weeks ago. I think the seniors have They've got something to give still to the game, don't you?
Well, I think the seniors. I've personally playing on the senior tour and knowing how competitive that is. It's brought me on. It's given me a new lease on life, should I say, at my old age of 53. But it's the standard on the senior tour is absolute, as you well know, Scott. It's crazy, isn't it?
What does it do to a player like you to have Mr. Taylor saying such nice things about you in one of the World Seniors events at the end of last year? That must be just lovely to hear from the GOAT saying such nice things about you.
Well, do you know what? We had a few moments together, and he told me a couple of things that I was doing wrong. And when you hear somebody like Phil telling you, I couldn't wait to leave Blackpool, get back home, and the first thing I did was I threw the suitcases to one side and went, right, I'm practicing, I need to get more fluent. And it was tidying up the 5s and 1s, basically, is what he said. If you can tidy them up, and you'll put 6 or 7 points on your average, and that means, overall you'll be getting down. Overall scoring's going to improve, and I think if you look at my stats between Blackpool and now, I'd like to think that I've taken what Phil told me on board, and it was just brilliant.
And your stats this evening are very good and actually illustrate the fact that your averages and your numbers are going in a upward direction. You must have been very happy with your level of play this evening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I've been. It's just the averages. You go through certain stages. I think in your darts career, and you're happy when you're hitting a 75 average, and then you get up to an 80. And I'm at the stage right now that I hit a 95, and I'm like, well, I've still left a few darts on the board. So yeah, there's more to come, I think. So when you feel if you won the game and there's still more to come, there's world's your oyster, I think.
Richard, we'll have another chat in just a second. Myself and Scott are going to analyse the rest of what we've seen this evening. And it was Darius Labanauskas who won the group, winning 7 out of his 8 matches. Now, we said that we didn't think there'd be too many issues in terms of him going through. He just made the easiest of progress possible. Just so consistent, so reliable at all times.
Yeah, we've said it on a few occasions this evening. He sets the bar at that level, and you have to go and get him, and he will go and step that level up. He will jump up and surprise you with a nice little shot out, which is what we're seeing here.
Sorry, Richard.
Yeah, sorry about that, Richard. It's against you. But this is what he does when he's having a little smile about it and saying sorry. But this is what he does when he's asked the question, Darius. And look, he hasn't had a tour card for all that time for nothing. And
no,
sometimes you're a little bit unfortunate when you drop off that tour, but he hasn't let it get to him, Darius. He's using it as a weapon and getting himself ready this year to go back to Q School and try and get that card back.
Richard mentioned a moment ago, Gemma Hayter's kind of been the story of this group. The headlines were about her coming into it on Thursday. Sometimes that's not easy to back up, but the way she played this week, particularly tonight at times, there was a really, really good level there.
Absolutely, and she's hit that level quite quickly. Let's not forget, she kind of only came back in January. A little bit of the Luke Littler effect. She picked her darts up again and started having a throw, and said, I'm starting to play well here, and was offered a little chance to go to the ladies tour in March, and she hasn't really looked back. It's been a really good 6 months for her. And the good thing for the ladies' game is it's another top player that they're talking about. So the depth is now coming. It's not just 1 or 2 like it used to be. It's now 5, 6, 8 of those women playing at such a standard that the next few years for them is going to be brilliant.
Absolutely.
You got to say, Richard?
No, I was going to say absolutely. It's just phenomenal. I only realised this evening that she'd only started playing again in January. I was like, I was in shock, and to be doing what she's doing at the moment, she's second PDC win on the weekend, and to be doing what she's doing this week, absolutely phenomenal. She's definitely going to be one to watch tomorrow night.
Well, this is how the tournament bracket breaks down. Carl Wilson booked his way through on Wednesday afternoon. Darius Labanauskas, Gemma Hayter, and Richard Rowlands, as you can see in your picture there, through Group B this evening, and early on this afternoon, Neil Duff. Bradley Brooks booking their places through. And this is how the groups are going to break down. First time you've had a look at this, Richard, I'm sure. Group 1, Carl Wilson, Gemma Hayter, Bradley Brooks. You are with Laban again, and Neil Duff, a man I'm sure you know a lot of on the World Seniors Tour.
Myself and Neil are good friends, so we know each other's games quite well, so yeah, we're looking forward to it.
What's your thoughts on those two groups tomorrow night, Scott?
I think, again, there's two tough groups for very different reasons. We have sort of Carl Wilson is the guy that we weren't expecting to see there, and it's going to be a great experience for him no matter what. He will open up the show in game one. He's had a couple of days off, gone back to Kent, and it'll be interesting whether he returns with the same form that he left with.
Richard, final word goes to you. You've won a week here before the Super Series. Back-to-back Champions Weeks could be something on the horizon.
Well, do you know what? Like I said, my game is I'll take one game at a time and see where we end up after the first couple of games and see what happens after that. So I'm looking forward to it. I used to play Carl, one of the few people probably that know him. We used to play a lot online together, so it's going to be the first time I'm going to meet him. Mm-hmm. We've met over the internet, but yeah, I'm looking forward to having a quick, meeting him face to face.
Well, Richard, many congratulations.
Thank
we
you
shall
very
see you
much.
tomorrow night. See you tomorrow night as well. And we'll see you tomorrow night as well. 7:30 p.m. we get started on the Super Series YouTube channel to see who the first player through to Champions Week is going to be. Laban's going to be there. Gemma Hayter's going to be the hometown hero. And Richard Rowlands is hoping to roll into town the victor. Bye from us.